I call this meeting to order at 12:31 p.m. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any volunteers to sing the alma mater? And at this point, I would like to remind you that 50 points are given to the club that does so.
Well, if we have no other takers, last call. 50 points for your club, going once, going twice. Along the Indian River shores our college walls will stand, where scholarship and fellowship go forward hand in hand. Devotion to a way of life with purpose strong and bold. We're loyal to the pioneers, all hail the blue and gold.
Thank you so much, Erica. And I will now pass the platform to our Vice President, Julia Diaz, for roll call and approval of minutes.
Okay, hi guys. So the attendance has already been accounted for with the registration, so you don't have to worry about any link or anything like that. So we're just gonna move right on over to the approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion from the floor to approve the minutes?
We need a second.
Okay, can I get a second?
Oh, wait.
I second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye.
Wait, was that aye for opposed or aye for approving?
An aye to proceed. Sorry.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, a majority has the minutes approved. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to hand the platform over back to Araceli.
Thank you, Julie. And now for a guest speaker, we have Dr. Patty Corey Souza, Director of Health and Wellness, who is going to talk to us about the coronavirus updates.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to try to give you a very brief overview of COVID and the points that are relevant, especially to you as students here at Indian River. And I hope to clarify some things for you so that in the future, moving forward, you can in turn educate others on terminology and the concepts of transmission. So, how about that?
Where did it go?
Well, Eric is pulling that up. I'd just like to say that, COVID-19 or coronavirus, this is not something that's going away. This is something that has been even more widespread since we've returned from winter break. And when you think about it, families have gotten together, people have traveled, and, there have been parties, and those types of events really do spread the virus. We may think that we feel good, we may think that we look good, but you just never know because people can carry this virus without their knowledge. So, okay, here we go. What I wanted to do is actually just let you know that in terms of the guidelines that we follow here in the state of Florida are a result of what the CDC has put forward, and that's the Center for Disease Control. So the CDC is the main governing body. The Florida Department of Health takes their lead from them. So there is a chain, and there's one more governing body regarding coronavirus. Okay, so what's safe and what's not safe? You can see on the slide here that the CDC and FDOH has determined that if you're less than 6 feet from someone for a total of 15 minutes, you're at risk. And that's with or without a mask. As far as the Florida Department of Health is concerned, masks are not the primary focus. It's really that distance between individuals. So be very, very conscious of this. Being outside is typically safer, areas that have better ventilation, fans or windows open, that type of thing. You're a little safer. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what to do if you're at home with somebody who's been diagnosed with COVID-19. Physical contact also includes things like sharing eating utensils, hugging and kissing. And this is a world where we can't do that anymore. And it's kind of unfortunate, but that's the reality. Obvious things like sneezing or coughing, singing, laughing, those types of expressions actually spread droplets further and faster. So just because someone's not coughing on you doesn't mean that if they're not laughing or singing to you, like we just sung the alma mater, you never know. So we hear two terms when it comes to COVID-19. We hear quarantine and we hear isolation. What's the difference? I have worked with healthcare professionals, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, who use these terms interchangeably, and that's not correct. They have two different definitions, and I'm going to explain to you what they are. And again, this is a fact that you can continue to educate others on. So first, we've got quarantine. Quarantine is something that is imposed when we feel that we've got somebody who's been exposed to COVID-19, or they have symptoms and they're being tested for COVID-19 or placed in quarantine as a precaution. And that means that they don't come to class, they do things remotely. And in terms of students, I really want you to know that if indeed you have to quarantine or isolate because of COVID-19, we have a process in place to make sure that you don't miss out on your academics, that you don't miss out on classwork. Anyone who is affected by COVID-19 and has to stay home, that's considered a medical absence. And that all goes through my office, and I'm going to explain a little bit more about that in just a minute. Quarantine, again, it's the kind of thing, if you feel good, it doesn't mean that you're not affected. So we want to be very, very careful and take all precautions. Let's go to the next slide. In December, to confuse things even more, the CDC put forth new standards for quarantine. Initially, a person had to quarantine for 14 days, 2 full weeks, if they had close contact with someone with COVID-19. So in December, those guidelines were updated. And so what that means is, if a person is exposed to a person who's positive for COVID-19 and they don't have symptoms and they don't want to get a test, that time has been reduced to 10 days. Also, after 7 days, if a person goes and has a test and it's revealed negative, that 2-week time frame can be shortened to 7 days. So these are good things, and these are things that we're just learning as we move forward with this virus. It's something that is constantly changing, and therefore you're going to see guidelines change. So after you finish with quarantine, you still have to take care of yourself and take care of others. You still have to wear your mask, wash your hands, keep your distance. If you feel like you have symptoms, even after that 14-day time frame, a test is really, really warranted. So I'm going to encourage you to consider that. And of course, if you have any specific questions about the testing process and how that relates to your own particular situation, you can just call my office or email my office, and we can help clarify those things for you. Okay. Household contacts. This is a really tricky thing. If you have a person who's been diagnosed with COVID-19 living in your house, it's tricky. That person with COVID is automatically put on isolation. Their isolation is going to be for 10 days with the actual disease. And on day 11, the CDC and the Department of Health considers a person non-infectious as long as they've completed that 10-day of isolation. So that's good news. But if you live with that person in the household, you're subject to an additional 14 days of quarantine that begins on the last day of the infected person's isolation. Does that make sense? So we're talking about, 3 weeks or so. If you're in a household with someone who has COVID, and especially if you're not taking precautions by separating those family members from the others in the house. And if you go to the next one, I talk about isolation. Isolation is complete separation from a person who's infected. That means if you're in the same household, different bedroom, different bathroom, no commingling in the kitchen, no going to the refrigerator and seeing what's in there, complete isolation. And this is so hard to do. We understand that. It's very difficult, but in the long run, it's really necessary. Do you want to go 3 weeks with a quarantine, or do you want to do everything you can do initially with a potential of shortening that time frame? Okay, this is a really big, confusing issue. If a person tests positive for COVID-19, and then, for example, their employer says, okay, you test positive, you stay home for 10 days, but you can't come back until you have a negative test. Well, it's likely that people who've been infected with COVID can test positive for months. Right now, the guideline is about 3 months that they're actually saying a person can test positive without being infectious. Remember, a person's only infectious during that first 10 days. So that's why we have a system in place that addresses those issues and helps to clarify those things with faculty members and supervisors and things of that nature. With the vaccine, people who've had COVID-19 should get the vaccine. That boosts the immunity even further, because we don't know how long natural immunity is going to last for someone who's had COVID. So the vaccine is indicated for somebody who's already had COVID. There are a lot of questions about these vaccines, and we hear it on the news all the time. Right now, we've got 2 vaccines that are approved for use, and they're approved under a law for emergency use. And that's the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine. The Pfizer vaccine has to be repeated 3 weeks after the initial dose. And again, that's to boost the immune system and to make sure that the best immune response has been realized by the vaccine. The Moderna is 28 days, so that's 4 weeks after the first dose. And it's important that people keep up with their schedule and they don't miss that second appointment. Again, vaccines are safe, and we're waiting for others to come on board. I can tell you that the effectiveness of the 2 that we currently have are over 95%, as long as the individuals have gone through the whole process and received those shots, which is excellent, excellent. Just so you know, and you've heard this, the public's coming on board with vaccines, and now we've got Winn-Dixie, we've got Walmart. Supplies are very limited. That doesn't mean that if you want one, you're going to be able to get it. There are criteria set forth by the state. So you have to be 65 or older. You have to have a pre-existing condition, which makes you vulnerable to COVID-19. You also have to be, or you can be a healthcare provider and someone who has direct contact with COVID. You can get a vaccine under those circumstances. And again, work with your doctor to figure out if indeed you do have some kind of pre-existing condition, whether that makes you vulnerable and therefore eligible to get the vaccine. After you get the vaccine, you can't stop wearing the mask. You can't stop washing your hands or distancing. And that's because the vaccine makes you immune. Meaning if you are infected with COVID, either you won't get the infection, or for some people, they still may get infected, but they'll have a much lighter case, less severe. However, you can pass it. Even with the vaccine, COVID-19 can be transmitted. And that's why it's important to do all those protective measures. Here at IRSC, Samantha, come on over here so you can get on camera. We have a COVID-19 medical response specialist, and I told you about notification of your teachers if indeed you have to stay home. This is Samantha, and Samantha is our COVID-19 medical response specialist. So she will be communicating with you, she will be communicating with your faculty members, and with myself as well. So I want you to know that we have a dedicated person. This is all that Samantha does, and she's helped us, streamline this whole process, which indeed can be quite confusing. So what are we doing? Just to summarize, we've got our COVID-19 response specialist. We have the Health and Wellness Center working in cooperation with the Florida Department of Health. They give us guidance on difficult cases or cases that we have questions about. We have constant communication with them. It's not like we're just sitting back saying, oh, you can't come to class, but you can. There are very strict guidelines that guide that. We verify test results. When we become aware of a test result that's positive, we do report it to the health department because there tends to be a time lag. So we don't want anybody to have to isolate longer than is necessary. We also provide notifications, and I really want to stress this about COVID-19 and confidentiality. This is a public health issue. So your traditional view of confidentiality, which is you don't tell anybody anything about your medical condition, doesn't really relate in this case. Because it's public health and others are at risk when someone is diagnosed with COVID-19, we can release medical information on a need-to-know basis. We don't go tell everyone, but there are people who do have the need to be aware of this, like your faculty members. And follow-up. Samantha has been really good about doing follow-up when a student is finished with isolation. She'll let the faculty know. So if you show up and they say, you're not supposed to be here, they'll have that notification from Samantha saying, yeah, it's okay for you to come back and be present in class. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm going to encourage you, if you have any questions, you can go on the Health and Wellness website, part of the website. I had my email and Samantha's email up here later. I don't know if you can share that slide with our contact information with everyone. And I encourage you, please contact us. Please, it's just a matter of, learning what's right and what's not right and what you can do to stay safe.
Thank you so much, Dr. Corey. Our next guest speakers for the day are Mr. John Barbieri, Director of Physical Plan and Maintenance, and Sean Donaghy, Dean Facilities and Sustainability, who are here to talk to us about updates for physical plan.
Hello, and by the way, congratulations on the Skull Award. That was awesome.
We built this stage just
so we'll go ahead and share on the mic here back and forth. But my name is John Barbieri. I'm the Director of Physical Plan, and we were invited here to actually talk a little bit about what we do in facilities. And due to what Dr. Patty Corey said about COVID, we do take care of the classrooms, and we do supply disinfectant. When stuff is being done, we respond immediately. But I'm going to pass over to my boss, Sean Donahue, which is the Dean of Facilities.
Thank you. So like John said, we've been working on COVID actually before COVID came about. That's kind of a weird thing to say, but what we figured out as we went along was we were using the right chemicals way in advance of COVID emerging in the country. We were looking at places, the sensitive places like childcare and locker rooms and things like that, looking to keep those super clean. This was back when other things were happening, but we figured out that all those chemicals we were using were exactly the right thing to use at the time. So we bought all the stuff, we were ready to go well before most anybody else, and we've never stopped. We have people that are just constantly cleaning, running throughout the campuses, wiping down every surface we can get our hands on, day in and day out. And then our main custodial crew comes at night includes everything as well. So we think we're a pretty clean environment. We haven't had any major outbreaks, so knocking on wood. But yeah, we're staying on top of it, and we're going to keep doing that for a long time. We've been doing a lot of safety improvements over the years, and this goes to like physical improvements like the lighting, the sidewalks, trip hazards, things like that. We're constantly doing that as well. Trees grow, roots push sidewalks around, creates tripping hazards, looking at door and accessibility issues. So we're constantly in that mode as well to try to keep our students and faculty and visitors safe as possible. So I would reach out if you guys see anything. The more eyes on things, the better. If you see something, mention it to John, or mention it to Rochelle, and we'll take that very, very serious. Try to make this as safe as possible for everybody that comes here. We are working on a new building project, which is kind of exciting. We're replacing this building just to the south of us, the O building. That's our workforce development building. And that houses the HVAC, welding, and automotive programs. So that building is, God, it's as old as I am, 51 years old. It is in dire need of replacement. It's way beyond its useful life. The state was generous enough to give us some money to replace that building. We're gonna enhance the programs in that to the best of our ability, and make it a really fine facility for the students. It's quite exciting because we can it's a nice building and everything, but the technology, the equipment that goes inside that is going to be state of the art. So we're going to enhance that with cybersecurity and some other computer electronics that are also kind of melded into those programs. Now your cars are smart as your computers. They're driving computers basically. Welding is a high technology field right now. Same thing with HVAC. That's pretty exciting. We should be able to kick that building off within the next 6 months. We'll be done in about 16 months after that. Okay. What else? John is planning for commencement. Our schedule, we work about 6 months ahead of everything that's happening. So we held a pretty successful, I hope, successful commencement ceremony from the student's point of view on the skid pad over at public safety, and we're looking for to do something similar or better than the last time. To make that safe for everyone. From a sustainability standpoint, part of my job is sustainability and energy savings and things like that. We started in January on a massive program across the college with a group called Honeywell Building Technologies. They're partners in this, and they're going through every building, changing out every light fixture, looking at all the doors and windows and ventilation systems, and we're going to save they're guaranteeing about $1 million a year on energy costs. What's that do for us? That's fine, very good. But we can be able to put that money back into the facilities and do some enhancements otherwise with that extra money. So that's a really good thing. Here's a new thing. So we just finished a remodel program, of an office suite for State Representative Dana Travolsky. I don't know if y'all have met her yet. She's a fantastic woman. She's a local representative for the St. Lucie area. If you get a chance to bring her in and talk, I think it would be a good thing to do. It's high energy, very engaging, and I think you can learn a lot about Florida politics and Florida government system. So I would strongly recommend that. We're also looking at working with the state attorney's office to bring in a victims advocacy group. Read and say. So that'll be another service that we can help provide on this campus for students. I guess that's a new thing. What else can I tell you? Well, overall, I mean, we're here to help the students. We're here to help the community. We're here to help the faculty make this the best possible learning environment we possibly can. If you need anything, if you have any ideas, things like that, I'd be really interested to hear it. I'm always looking for new ideas from y'all. And you can honestly get a hold of me and John just about any time. Rochelle has our number. Yeah. All the cell phones. And this thing?
Yeah, I got one extra thing. So for the students that are on Zoom, sorry that you can't be here in person, but have any students seen anything around the parking lot lately? We added some additional signage. They're pretty cool. So if you look around the parking lot, especially in the student area, we just installed veteran signs for veterans only that RSC supports. So you'll start seeing more and more of those signage college-wide. That's in the 4 county areas. Our president, Dr. Timothy Moore, I mean, he was really instrumental of getting that started, being a veteran himself. So he thought, let's do something for our students that are a veteran. So you'll see more and more signage around campus. We're excited because what we do in facility and physical plan is we don't save lives, but we change lives. We hope to make them better for how do you save lives, but we change lives. And we enjoy doing that in physical plan. And like Sean indicated, as you go around campus, I think it was the CCG president last year. I was sitting in a campus safety task force meeting, and he presented at the entrance of 35th. There was a little valley, and I guess students were complaining that as they were going down there, they were hitting the cars were bogging down. And what had happened, the asphalt settled a little bit, so they brought it to our attention, and we were able to take care of it in a timely manner. So it's what Sean was indicating, stuff like that. If you see lights that are out, light poles in the parking lots, these are things that we try to provide safety for our students that are here at night. I'm here at night as well, so I see most of it, and I report it to myself. Hey, I gotta fix this. So, but it takes everyone to participate just to provide the best service that we can. We encourage the ones that are in the room where we can answer any questions for us, for what we talked about. Other than that, I think, thank you for having us. Any questions? Anyone? All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barbieri and Donahue. And now, I would like to remind you that you can find all the information for our guest speakers at our PowerPoints. And now we're moving on to our office reports. For the president's report, I would like to remind you that my office hours have yet not changed and are still on Monday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. virtually, and on Tuesday from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. face-to-face at KSU, room 115B. And you can contact me at all times at my email, maruzuea@mail.irc.edu. This Friday, February 12th, we are having our 2020-2021 Fiscal Legislative Platform Conference from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to talk about matters like the college affordability, safety and security, along with how to increase the Florida college system. I would also like to remind you that our Splash Perks, program and 60 things that every pioneer should do goes on. And while you're completing it, you can earn amazing prizes that can actually be seen on the next PowerPoint. These are the prizes. We have the front flip prize, the 60 things photo frame that you get at the end when you complete the entire program. We have the sundial that you get a little towel and a bottle, the back flip, and the cannonball, which is the last one, that you get a really nice sweatshirt. Additionally, I'd like to remind you that you should not forget to fill out the of the month awards that can be found on River Life for CCG representative, student, and faculty of the month. And now I would like to pass the platform to Ariana.
Hello, I hope everyone had an amazing afternoon so far. This is the Treasury's report. As you can see, my office hours have not changed. 9 to 10 virtual, Wednesday in person, which will be in my office, 1:30 to 2:30, and then Thursday will be 11 to 12. For the CCG points, we have in third place the Science Club with 583, the Tomato Mentors with 710, and then in first place we have HOSA with 3,762 points. That is really impressive. That is crazy. Keep up the amazing work, guys. You guys can still, level up because it is difficult, but the points add up. You do everything that's required, like tracking, along with just taking photos with their photo bonus and going to the events. Now we'll be discussing about the Student Life Committee meeting. So this meeting, please mark down in your calendars. It will be on February 25th, 2 to 3. It will be in person along with virtual. We will be discussing new ideas and basically brainstorming the student union and our mascot. If you guys have any concerns or questions regarding this meeting or would like to participate and cannot, please email me or contact me, whatever you like, and I will be glad to answer any questions and, have a conversation with you guys. So the points reminder, just like I said, you guys can earn more points rather than just hosting an event. You can go to these events listed below, which is improving your guys' networking along with your leadership. I know a lot of students are trying to do emerging leaders and legacy leaders. So if you would like, one of them is Leadership Summit.
Yeah, just talk loud.
Okay. So it won't turn on, right? Should I turn it off just in case?
Yeah, it's fine.
So if you guys went to the Leadership Summit, you guys are basically trying to improve your leadership, skills. So this basically benefits you as a person along with your experience with IRC. So you guys are tackling emerging leaders along with, helping your club get to the highest they can with their, rank. Now I will be going over old business. So first we had the fourth Saturday of Giving, which was our spring cleaning. We only had a limit of spots because of COVID. This was only max to 8. This was a success. This helped student engagement basically get organized for spring and be ready to tackle 2021. Our next event that we had was Get Connected. We went to all of the campuses. 83 students attended fully, so that was a big success. Clubs were able to register a table if they wanted to, network with other, well not network, but connect to other students while they went to other campuses, see how they're doing, along with just broadening their horizons of students. We have our social media giveaway. This happens each month. So if you would like to participate still, you guys can by following our Facebook and Instagram. We have our January winner. Congratulations. I love that picture, by the way. It's a nice picture. High quality. Congratulations. And if you guys have any other questions, please contact us. And then finally, we had our Leadership Summit, which was on February 5th. This was 9 to 1. You guys could have attended virtually or even in person. In person was the Pruitt campus. It was amazing. If you guys wanted to do, like I keep saying, emerging leaders or legacy leaders, you guys would have to, attend this kind of summit. We have other ones approaching, but this one was amazing. I forgot who the guest speakers were, but I know Rochelle talked about legacy leaders. And if you guys have any further questions on getting more involved within the campuses, please contact us. Now, pass it on to our Vice President, Julie.
Thank you, Ariana. So on Friday, February 12th, we're going to be having a day at the park, and this is going to start at 12:30, and the games are going to start at 1 p.m. So this is going to be on the baseball field complex here at the Massey campus. We are going to be giving out free food and spirit items to cheer on the baseball and softball team, so feel free to come by. We're also going to have a Make a Difference week from Monday, February 15th through Sunday, February 21st. So get out there and make a change and pay it forward and serve. There are numerous ways that you can make a difference with it, such as a community service project, or by simply practicing an act of kindness. And lastly, we're going to be having a Maximize Your College Experience event on Tuesday, February 16th from 10 to 11 a.m. So this event is for learning about new tips and tricks to maximize your college experience. So feel free to come by online on Blackboard Collaborate. This also counts for the Emerging Leaders Program. And now I'd like to pass it off to Eric.
Thank you, Julie. On Wednesday, February 17th, the applications for the CCG Executive Board open and they close on Monday, March 22nd. And this is a great opportunity for students to get involved and more engaged with IRC, as well as it's the beginning of a leadership success that everybody needs to have. Then on Thursday, February 18th, we have our fireside chat the Black family, representation, identity, and diversity, starting at 5:30 via Zoom. And you can find the information on how to attend the event on the PowerPoint. This is a great opportunity again to join IRC for a conversation with Dr. William Anderson as an event in the celebration for Black History Month. On Tuesday, the 23rd, coming up, we have the How to Write a Professional Resume event, which is hosted by the Career and Transfer Services, online at 3 to 4 p.m. And you can find the more detailed information for the event on River Life. Lastly, we have on the same day, we have from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. the streaming of Selma through Zoom, during which you can join and watch the film and discuss on film. Now, before we go to open forum, I would like to pass the platform to Erica because she has to give us some updates about some new events.
Just giving two updates, one from the athletics department. I know we mentioned this before, but on our social media pages, but we'll be putting some more home games out there. Home games are now open and available for students to attend and the public. You do have to wear a mask. And we have basketball, men's and women's, volleyball, swimming, baseball, and softball. I think I said volleyball, all in season right now. So you have a lot of games to go to, and drum roll please, you can get club points for attending games. So if you and your members split up, you can definitely rack up by attending some of the games. The other thing is, if you are still in dire needs of something to buy your sweetheart for Valentine's Day, our professional association, IRSC AFC, on Thursday afternoon from 12 to 5 in the KSU here on main campus. Or you can email us at our student engagement at irsc.edu on Friday if you want to pick up carnations. We have carnations for $1 for one or a dozen for $10, and all the money goes to scholarships. So you can get a couple dozen for your sweetheart and surprise somebody, give it out to your coworkers, your team members. Definitely makes for a nice Valentine's Day or a kickoff to Valentine's Day, which is this Sunday, if you forgot. All right, that's it for me, but thank you for supporting.
Thank you so much, Erica. Now for the open forum, are there any announcements and ideas from clubs?
And if you are in the room, please come down a little closer. We had 2 clubs show up today in the room, so awesome.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Linda Francis. I am with the International Club with Dr. Fuller. We have an event coming up on February 12th, which is this Friday, and it's going to be from 10 to 11 a.m. at Lawnwood Stadium. We are asking each and every one to come out and support us. It's in reference to the United Against Poverty. And the donation is going to so many people out there who are, in need of food, clothing, to assist them, especially in this time of the COVID where people lost their jobs and families need help. So we are asking everyone to come out and support so we can, assist these families with donation. And again, it's on Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. We'll be meeting at the Lawnwood Stadium. Thank you.
I just wanted to add to what Linda said, that they can earn point and get River Splash product from working with us. We want them to try to get to the stadium like 5 to 10 minutes before 10 so we can get together and walk together.
Very good. Thank you, Rolanda.
Are there any more announcements to be made?
Yes.
Tavares? Clark, thank you. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. I am Travis Clark, CCG representative for the Digital Media Graphics Design Club. We are having a artist talk via, let's say, Black Book Collaborate on March 25th at 6 p.m. I do not have the link on me at this moment, but the next meeting I should. So next time.
I think your mic may have went out. If you want to, please, if it went out completely, just go ahead and type it in the chat. But so digital media, you have an event coming up on the 25th, 6 o'clock. So definitely any organization, you can always go on their page to find out all the details and also to RSVP as well. All right, thank you.
Any other announcements?
We do have one. The next International Club meeting is February 19th at 10 a.m. to 10:30 on Blackboard. And just so you all know, the wonderful system of using Zoom, that's why you were asked to identify organizations. You are going to be tracked, plus we can see how long you were actually logged in for the meeting. So this actually gives us more information on the front end, so we don't have to do all the running around and going back and forth on our end. So you have already been tracked and your participation will be added to the meeting today.
All right, guys. Now I'd like to remind you once more that you should not forget to fill out the optimal nominations that are found on Riverlight. Our next General Assembly meeting will be on Wednesday, 24th, at the same time at 12:30 to 1:30 p.m., again on Zoom. Now our meeting has come to an end, so can I get a motion from the floor to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Christy Lyon.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Sophie from NSA.
Thank you, Sophie. All in favor of adjourning this meeting, say aye.
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 All opposed? Adjournment approved at 1:20 p.m. Thank you everyone for being here.